This iconic black and white photograph, taken by John Whitman for Washington DC magazine, captures a rare moment of casual diplomacy among some of the most influential figures of the time. It's April 27, 1983, at a black tie dinner held at the Canadian Embassy in Washington, D.C., honoring Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. In the foreground, towering above the room at 6'7", is Paul Volcker, chairman of the Federal Reserve, quietly sipping his drink. Beside him, Robert Strauss, the sharp and charismatic Democratic leader, listens intently. The juxtaposition of these two figures, a giant in monetary policy and a master of political negotiation, perfectly encapsulates the unique energy of Washington's social gatherings. This wasn't merely a dinner party. It was an incubator for diplomacy, an arena where ideas flowed as freely as the champagne. Events like these are where Washington's invisible wheels of power turn. Alex Pentland, a scholar of idea flow, has argued that the most transformative ideas are born from informal exchanges, moments when individuals from different spheres of influence collide and converse. The black tie dinner at the Canadian Embassy was precisely that, a gathering where the worlds of economics, politics, and international relations intertwined. Pierre Trudeau, always a commanding presence, knew how to cultivate relationships that mattered. As the Prime Minister of Canada, his relationship with the United States was critical, both economically and geopolitically. By hosting a formal affair in his honor, the Canadian Embassy underscored the shared interests of two nations' trade, security, and the broader Cold War landscape. The setting, elegant yet serious, reflected the gravity of the times and the stakes at play. This wasn't just a social event, it was a demonstration of the power of diplomacy through human connection. Volker, a man known for his disciplined intellect and understated demeanor, was perhaps an unlikely figure in the DC social scene. His towering height and cigar in hand made him a noticeable presence, but his focus was always on the substance of conversations, not the spectacle. As chairman of the Federal Reserve, he had taken on the Herculean task of taming inflation, which had reached catastrophic levels in the late 1970s. By implementing stringent monetary policies, raising interest rates to eye-watering heights, he brought inflation under control at the cost of a deep recession. Yet, by 1983, his efforts were bearing fruit, and inflation had stabilized. His presence at this dinner was not just symbolic but vital. Canada, the U.S.'s largest trading partner, had a direct stake in the economic policies Volcker was shaping. Robert Strauss, ever the diplomat and dealmaker, was the perfect counterpart to Volcker's measured approach. Known for his quick wit and ability to find common ground, Strauss was a key figure in fostering bipartisan cooperation. As a former Democratic National Committee chair and a close advisor to President Carter, Strauss brought a different kind of power to the room, the power of persuasion and negotiation. Together, Volcker and Strauss represented the dual engines of policy, the economic and the political, each necessary to navigate the complex waters of governance and diplomacy. As the evening progressed, the conversations likely moved from inflation and trade to broader geopolitical challenges. Trudeau, always one for intellectual exchanges, was adept at elevating the tone of discussions. He understood that these informal moments over drinks and hors d'oeuvres could lead to the kind of breakthroughs that formal meetings often stifled. According to Pentland's idea flow theory, these gatherings create networks of influence where ideas not only circulate but evolve. It's not just the exchange of information that matters, but the spark of collaboration that turns ideas into action. This photograph also offers a glimpse into the unique alchemy of Washington gatherings. Unlike other social events where glitz often outshines substance, the city's black tie affairs carry a weight that goes beyond appearances. The quiet exchanges in corners, the shared insights over a glass of wine, the subtle body language of agreement, these are the moments when real influence is wielded. It's where Volcker's disciplined pragmatism might intersect with Strauss's charm and Trudeau's vision, creating an idea flow that could ripple outward to shape policies affecting millions. Volcker, who went on to chair the Economic Recovery Advisory Board under President Obama decades later, was a lifelong advocate of practical, results-driven solutions. His legacy, much like this photograph, is a testament to the power of ideas exchanged in the right setting. Strauss, too, left his mark, later serving as the U.S. ambassador to the Soviet Union during the collapse of the Cold War. Both men, in their own ways, demonstrated how gatherings like this one could influence history. As the night drew to a close and the last glasses were raised, one could imagine the sense of shared purpose that filled the room. In Washington, power is not just what happens in the halls of Congress or the West Wing. It's also the quiet murmur of conversation at a dinner party, the exchange of ideas that, under the right conditions, can change the world.